now know, and it really hit me when we were watching the Diamondbacks in Game 7, and the B-1 flew over over the Bob.
Yeah, it wasn't a B-1 bomber.
Recently uncovered this military document right here that shows all Air Force planes were grounded on March 13th, 1997. So she says the question remains, what was in the air over Phoenix some 16 years ago?
And now I'll ask Officer Stein and his colleagues to escort the accused into the room so that we may all look upon the guilty party. Don't get him too close to me, please.
May 1st, 1997, Wood State Luke Air Force Base was not involved in any way with the lights over Phoenix.
Pilots report seeing it in the air, yet military radar screens pick up nothing.
Whatever it was, it has more than a few Phoenicians watching the skies tonight.
Well, in the weeks following the incident, over 700 witnesses called in reports to local officials and to the National UFO Recording Center, a private organization in Seattle, Washington. And these witnesses included pilots, police officers, and military professionals.
I think as far as government is concerned, we're sort of driven to always have an explanation for everything. And it's hard for government entities to say, I don't know. We can't explain it and admit to complete vulnerability. And now I'll ask But I learned a hard lesson about this subject based on personal experience. Public officials need to be more open and more courageous in dealing with issues like this. We need to deal with it legitimately and objectively. And if we don't know what it was, then we should say, we don't know what it was. It's time to square up and do the right thing. I'm Fife Samington, the former governor of Arizona, and in the spring of 1997, there was a very unusual event that occurred while I was the governor. I guess some people refer to it as the lights over Phoenix.
It was Thursday night, March 13th, 1997, at 8:30 p.m.
My daughter Monica came running in to say there was something coming over the end of Camelback Mountain. And so 4 of the kids got up, ran out, and I ran out with them.
And I looked to the north. My wife and I saw 3 bright white lights in triangle formation coming right towards us.
It had 5 big lights in front, and it was the shape of a boomerang.
It was a solid craft, silent, very low to the ground. And the thing that took me was the size. Profoundly enormous, profoundly massive. I mean, we don't even have shopping centers this big.
We stood and watched it come, and it floated directly over our house. And it was probably 5 to 6 minutes that we had full view of this.
My wife and I, we just stared at each other. And I looked her right in the eye and I says, we just saw our first UFO.
Do these lights belong to visitors from outer space? Hundreds of people across the valley think it's a distinct possibility.
What is described as a giant, brightly lit boomerang soars through the air.
No official explanation of those strange bright lights.
That night, it was being blasted all over the radio, all over the television. So people were going outside of their houses and looking up in the sky. And it was being viewed by thousands of people across the valley. There were barrages of phone calls coming into the governor's office and to the Department of Public Safety. People wanted answers. So, of course, I was making my inquiries immediately to the head of the National Guard. And I had members of my staff calling Luke Air Force Base to find out if they were flying some exotic aircraft over the valley and not really getting any answers. I mean, everybody was just sort of, oh my gosh, well, we don't know what it is.
Something strange happened in the skies over Arizona that still hasn't been fully explained.
It's something UFO enthusiasts are calling a major sighting.
It is a massive solid object, not merely lights, in the shape of a delta or triangle. And it makes no noise as it moves over the valley. Most importantly, it is viewed from multiple vantage points by witnesses across the county for a total of 106 minutes.
We literally were laying down on the grass looking up at it.
It was a solid object.
Something that all of
never explain.
Real deal.
It was a major UFO event, seen by thousands of people across the state of Arizona, and they were expecting a serious response from the government.